Hi guys, Ryu here, and let's talk about curves. Curves can be very powerful if you know how to use them. I use them a lot for cables, pipes, all kinds of stuff. So let's talk about the basics, right? If you go to your curve menu, and by the way, my curve menu is larger because I have this add-on enabled, extra curve objects. So if you go to curves, Shift A, right, and then Bezier curve, the most basic one, and go to edit mode, you'll see these handles. Now they behave very much like handles of a pen tool in Photoshop. So you can simply move them, you can use R to rotate them, so G or R, and you can manipulate with them, you can extrude them, you can do all kinds of stuff. So let's do something like this and Control A to apply scale. So what I want to do now is change it into a pipe. All you need to do is go here to this tab and then change bevel depth and you're done. On top of it, you could actually add Control 1, so add the subdivision modifier to it by pressing Control 1. Now this is still a curve, not a mesh, so if you want to change it to mesh, you need to go to Alt A and Visual Geometry to Mesh, or go to Object and convert mesh from curve. Now the problem is that we have a modifier going on it, and if I actually apply this, you'll see that the modification is going to be applied with it. If you want to avoid this, I would suggest go back a little bit and remove this first, right? Then apply this geometry transformation and then add modifier on top of it, which means you have a live modifier going on this pipe. The problem with this is that you can't really do anything much more with it because it's baked into Geo. Now the advantage of doing it with hard obs is that if I, let's say, delete this vert really quickly and Shift Control B to bevel these and go to operations and curve extract, I can press 1S to smooth it and Control 1 after applying, right? And now this is a curve, okay? So I can still adjust it, right? You can see it's a curve inside. It's not a mesh, it's a curve. However, if I press, if I go to curve again and press X, it will revert back to just a curve. And now I can convert it, select it and convert it to mesh, and I'm back into vert mode. So this is actually quite a powerful way of working. In addition, you have two of them because this tool extracts from the edge and creates a curve, so you have like a backup mesh to work with, right? Now let's stay with this one and do something cool. So if I wanted to, let's say, create an array of items that will follow the curve, right? So I will just go ahead and add a cube, and that's my cube. And then I would reshape it. You know what? Let's actually make it smaller, so it's going to be cooler. And let's reshape it, so maybe extrude it and inside it extrude it, something like this. That's cool, something simple. And maybe, you know what, let's just bevel it because it's just too squarish. I don't like it. Let's make it into a cable-ish sort of, so just bevel it, kind of looks cool, and add some maybe tiny bevel on it. All right, so now we're going to array this, right, like that. That's enough. And now we want to do is apply this one to follow that one, right? So what we're going to do is go to hard obs and select this curve and the mesh and click on this curve here. And this will align it. Now the problem here is that we need to do some changes in the curve settings. So let's change the orientation of this to something else. Let's try maybe -Z. Nope, maybe -X. Sometimes it's just a bit of a fiddling with axes. So if you now press G and X to move it on X, it will actually follow this curve, you see? So it's a pretty cool way of working. Now, the powerful thing about it is that, and if I wanted to make it more detailed, you simply, play with extrusion, right? And you could just make it a little bit longer, like that. And then this item will keep on following this curve if you make it longer. Now, the item that follows the curve is going to get distorted. That's normal, but you could actually help it a little bit by subdividing it. So in hard obs, what I would do personally is, simply run maybe dice through it, right? So go to dice and simply run dice over it, right? If it's really large. In this case, I don't think it's necessary, but It's always going to help a little bit with bending and curving, especially if the object is really long. If you don't have hard ops and you want to do it manually, you need to select the object, go to modifier and click on curve. Then you have to go to settings and simply choose an object that you want to deform. So in case this one, right? So we're deforming this one along the curve. I think that should got you covered in terms of basic stuff regarding curves. Thanks for watching.